Well, good evening, everybody. It's that time of week again, and welcome along to British Speedway Quiz Night number 5. As ever, we hope you and your families are continuing to keep safe and well. We're going to spend these first few minutes just allowing you all to get settled in and ready for tonight's quiz, and of course to allow as many of you to join in and play along live as is possible. So please do allow me to point you in the direction of the official British Speedway website, which is speedwaygb.co.uk. That is your place for all of the latest breaking news and developments. And obviously, a lot of clubs at the moment are going to the effort of digging into their video vaults to bring us action rewinds of meetings from years gone by. And we do have a designated page on there which we do update as regularly as we can once we are notified by the club. So speedwaygb.co.uk for all the latest, and don't forget to keep right up to date. Do get onto our social media channels as well. Give us a follow on Twitter at SpeedwayGB. Search for our Facebook page, SpeedwayGB, on there. Give us a like. On Instagram, we are at Official British Speedway. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Search Speedway Great Britain. Plenty of content on there, particularly on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. We have launched plenty of new features for you. Last week, we launched our new Legend series with a series of video clips, interview clips from Bruce Pennell. And this week, we have been bringing you interview clips from Ivan Major as well. We've also got plenty lined up with the likes of Ty Wuffenden, Jason Doyle, Nicky Pedersen, Ollie Olsen, Hans Nielsen. So some true legends of the sport. I'm sure you'll agree, and we'll be bringing you more exclusive features and interviews with them over the coming weeks and months. We've also got our new special At the Tapes feature, where we fire some quick fire questions to some of the stars of the Shale, and we get to know the men behind the helmets and goggles a little more personally. Plenty of competitions and giveaways, as well as plenty of other interactive features as well. So like I say, do give us a like and a follow, and make sure you're getting involved. Every Monday as well, we bring you our Monday night Speedway broadcast, and you can join me this coming Monday from 7:30, and we're heading back to another fixture from 2017 as the Premiership newcomers, the Rye House Rockets, took on the reigning top flight champions, the Wolverhampton Wolves. So join me this Monday, 7:30 for that one. Back on to tonight's British Speedway Quiz Night number 5 though, and I'm sure the majority of you here have played one of our quizzes at least before. If not, we may have a few first timers, so welcome along, and many thanks for joining us. The majority of you do like to play along traditionally with a pen and a bit of paper. That's absolutely fine. Some do like to interact on the live video by typing their answers on Facebook or YouTube. That's absolutely fine as well. All we do is suggest that you turn the comments off using the button on Facebook, or if you are watching on YouTube, then if you enter full screen mode, they should automatically disappear. So how's it going to work? Well, round one, as always, bumper opening round, 20 questions, bit of everything and anything, and also looking back at a few news items maybe from the past 7 days or so. Then we take a short break where we view a couple of races from years gone by. Then we move on to our 2 themed rounds, and these have got 10 questions each. And I can tell you now that tonight's first theme round is called We Are the Champions, and our second themed round is called Number Ones. We then take a slightly longer break, and we then run you through the answers. So it does look again like we've got a decent number of you playing. Just a reminder as well that there aren't any prizes. It's all a bit of fun, maybe just creating a bit of banter and friendly competition between yourselves, your family and your friends, or maybe even some of you who stand next to each other on the terraces as well. It's been great to see so many riders playing along as well. I know multiple British champion Scott Nichols has been getting involved. Danny King and Adam Roynan have a bit of a battle each week. I know Ty Proctor started playing along. Jason Edwards, Nathan Stoneman, Andy Mellish as well. So riders from all levels of the sport getting involved, playing along, and that really is great to see. We hope you are enjoying it as well. Do make some notes if you are stuck on questions. You will have some gaps, like I say, to fill in, no doubt. Jot some notes down along the way. So I think that's everything run through for now anyway. So it's time to get British Speedway Quiz Night number 5 underway. So round number one then, and our regular players will know that this is our pick and mix round, a mixture of anything and everything, and also taking a look at a few things that have been going on around the Speedway world over the past 7 days. Right then, let's ease you in nice and gently then with question number one. What type of tigers are Mildenhall according to their nickname? So what type of tigers are Mildenhall according to their nickname? We'll stick with nicknames to help you settle into round one for question two. So what is the new nickname of Kent's National League side? What is the new nickname of Kent's National League side? Question 3. For which season did the top two leagues rebrand their names to Premiership and Championship? So for which season did the top two leagues rebrand their names to Premiership and Championship? First multiple choice question of tonight's quiz for question number 4, and we're giving you a 50-50 chance of getting this one right. Which duo launched a new lockdown podcast last week for Speedway supporters around the world? So which duo launched a new lockdown podcast last week for Speedway supporters around the world? Is it A, Kelvin Tatum and Nigel Pearson, or B, Natalie Quirk and Scott Nichols? Sticking with multiple choice for question number 5, who did Eastbourne supporters vote as their all-time Ultimate Eagle earlier this week? So who did Eastbourne supporters vote as their all-time Ultimate Eagle earlier this week? Is it A, Dean Barker, B, Gordon Kennett, C, David Norris, or D, Nicky Pedersen? Question 6. Kings Lynn named Michael Hartell in their side for 2020, but who were the first British club to hand him a team spot? So Kings Lynn named Michael Hartell in their side for 2020, but who were the first British club to hand him a team spot? Question 7. Which rider, who started his British Speedway career with Eastbourne, won a 4th successive New Zealand Championship title over the winter break? So which rider, who started his British Speedway career with Eastbourne, won a 4th successive New Zealand Championship title over the winter break? A couple more multiple choice questions coming up for you now, starting with question number 8. Newcastle winter signing Nick Scorsia was born in which country? So Newcastle winter signing Nick Scorsia was born in which country? Is it A, the Czech Republic, B, Finland, C, Slovakia, or D, Slovenia? Question 9. Jakob Torschel sealed a return to Wolverhampton over the winter, but in which year did he first join the club? So Jakob Torschel sealed a return to Wolverhampton over the winter, but in which year did he first join the club? Is it A, 2011, B, 2012, C, 2013, or D, 2014? Question number 10. Which former Scunthorpe rider rejoined the club in February after 4 years away from the Eddie Wright Raceway? So which former Scunthorpe rider rejoined the club in February after 4 years away from the Eddie Wright Raceway? Well, we are being generous to you this week. Multiple choice once again for question number 11. And Danny Gapmeyer contributed the highest number of Berwick race wins in last year's championship with 38. But how many came away from Shielfield Park? So Danny Gapmeyer contributed the highest number of Berwick race wins in last year's championship with 38. But how many came away from Shielfield Park? Is it A5, B9, C13 or D17? Question number 12. Who was crowned British Under-19 champion in 2018? So who was crowned British Under-19 champion in 2018? Question number 13, multiple choice once again as well. Who were the first ever winners of a top flight league fixture at the National Speedway Stadium in Manchester? So who were the first ever winners of a top flight league fixture at the National Speedway Stadium in Manchester? Was it A, Bellevue, B, Coventry, C, Swindon or D, Wolverhampton? Question 14. At which club stadium did Lakeside complete their 2018 fixtures following the closure of the Arena Essex Raceway? So at which club stadium did Lakeside complete their 2018 fixtures following the closure of the Arena Essex Raceway? Question 15. After 18 years at Buxton, which former racer was then given the opportunity as team manager in the higher leagues with both Birmingham and Sheffield? So after 18 years at Buxton, which former racer was then given the opportunity as team manager in the higher leagues with both Birmingham and Sheffield? Fifty-fifty chance of you getting question 16 right as well. Josh Pickering has spent his entire British Speedway career so far with Edinburgh, but in which year did he first join the club? So Josh Pickering has spent his entire British Speedway career so far with Edinburgh, but in which year did he first join the club? Was it A, 2016 or B, 2017? Question number 17. How many British clubs did Ty Proctor officially ride for in 2019? So how many British clubs did Ty Proctor officially ride for in 2019? Question number 18, and the first of our picture questions this week. Can you name this rider pictured in his younger days who is best known for his spells with Ipswich and Scunthorpe in British Speedway? So can you name the rider pictured in his younger days who is best known for his spells with Ipswich and Scunthorpe in British Speedway? Question number 19. Which country was Stefan Nielsen born in? So which country was Stefan Nielsen born in? And on to our final question of tonight's opening round. And you could say that this is a bit of a teaser for tonight's third and final round coming up a little bit later on. Question number 20. Which club did Adam Ellis sign for as their number 8 in 2012 before working his way up into the number 1 position the following season? So which club did Adam Ellis sign for as their number 8 in 2012 before working his way up into the number 1 position the following season? So that's our opening bumper round complete. We tried to throw a few more multiple choice in there this week to hopefully help boost your scores a little. We're going to give you the chance to top up those drinks or grab some snacks. We'll be back with our 2 theme rounds in a few moments. But in the meantime, here are a couple of heats from seasons gone by to help you get your Speedway fix.
Good start from Charlie Jada in red, but very tight going into the first turn there. Ben Barker locks up at the back. Nick Simmons manages to negotiate his way into third place with Chris Harris in second, trying to chase down Charlie Jada. Bomber goes for the cut back up the inside of Jada. He's got the pace. Jada has to yield to Harris because Harris has got the line there. Jada going around the outside of Harris, but Harris just squeezing Charlie Jada up against the fence, still giving Jada room to race, but Charlie getting filled in there as he runs wide to try and pick up the grip out wide. The race now on in third and fourth place now as Ben Barker goes around the outside of Nick Simmons, but Simmons just holding on, lifts slightly. Barker squeezes between the fence and Nick Simmons there, but Simmons just locking up a little bit on the inside to avoid Barker. Barker gets himself through into third place, and at the moment it's going to be another heat advantage for the Coventry Bees if it stays like this. Barker definitely got himself established over Nick Simmons now by about 6 to 8 bite lengths and putting Charlie Jada under a little bit of pressure coming under the fourth bend. But as they take the checkered flag, Chris Harris takes the win with Charlie Jada in second place for the Bellevue Aces and a 4-2 to the Coventry Bees.
So Saints looking to strike straight back in this heat number 9. 5 takes away they go, and it's a good start from the outside for Gary Irvin. Irvin hits the first corner. Ash Morris for the Heathens into second spot. Now Tom Young under pressure from Darryl Richings. Tom Young though able to keep it on around the outside of Darryl Richings, and now he's coming around the outside of Ashley Morris, and what a ride that is from Tom Young. Certainly got his wheels in line there coming off that pits corner, and it's a 5-1 situation to the Saints in this 9th race over the previously unbeaten Ashley Morris. Morris though won't give up until the checker flag. He's after the Saints pair now. Tom Young has taken it up over Gary Irvin. Ashley Morris getting back in contention. A good race developing in this 9th race as they hit the pits corner once again. Ashley Morris has got 5 metres to make up on Gary Irvin. Irvin though down on the inside line. Ashley Morris trying to come right around the outside of him, and Ashley Morris looks to have done it. What a super ride from Ashley Morris, although he goes wide there. Gary Irvin keeps it screwed on now. Ashley Morris coming to dive bomb. Gary Irvin tries to force him into a mistake on the final corner. Tom Young's got the victory. Who's coming through for the second spot? Dead level over the line. My word, what a race again between Ashley Morrison and Scunthorpe Saint. We saw a good battle in heat number 6, and we'll have to wait Darren Hartley's verdict there because that was too close to call. What's not in doubt is that Tom Young was the winner, but we'll await the verdict on second and third. Dal Richings, unfortunately for the Heathens, finished at the back, but a good race there in heat number 9.
So it's time to move on to our 2 themed rounds then to complete tonight's quiz. 2 rounds of 10 questions coming up for you back to back now, starting with our first theme round, round number 2. And this week it's called We Are the Champions. So for tonight's first theme round, we're going to look back at some of the teams who have celebrated league glory, as well as some of the riders who helped them get there. So let's get things started with question number 1. Which rider, whose face has been blurred in this victory team shot, assured Leicester of the 2019 Championship title by winning Heat 14 of the second leg at Glasgow? So which rider, whose face has been blurred in this victory team shot, assured Leicester of the 2019 Championship title by winning Heat 14 of the second leg at Glasgow? Question number 2. In which year did Wolverhampton bring Ty Woffington back to the club in August before later going on to win the top flight title? So in which year did Wolverhampton bring Ty Woffington back to the club in August before later going on to win the top flight title? Question number 3. Which club were back-to-back second-tier champions in 2014 and 2015? So which club were back-to-back second-tier champions in 2014 and 2015? Question number 4. Who guested for Sheffield at number 1 in the second leg of their 2017 Grand Final triumph over Ipswich? So who guested for Sheffield at number 1 in the second leg of their 2017 Grand Final triumph over Ipswich? A couple of multiple choice questions coming up for you now, starting with question number 5. When Swindon won the Elite League in 2012, it was their first league title in how many years? So when Swindon won the Elite League in 2012, it was their first league title in how many years? Is it A, 15, B, 30, C, 45 or D, 60? Moving on to question number 6, and like I say, back-to-back multiple choice for you. Which of the following clubs won the National League at the first time of asking after entering the third tier? So which of the following clubs won the National League at the first time of asking after entering the third tier? Was it A, Birmingham, B, Eastbourne or C, Lakeside? Question number 7. This picture was taken on the night Workington sealed a historic treble in 2018, but which rider's face has been blurred? So this picture was taken on the night Workington sealed a historic treble in 2018, but which rider's face has been blurred? And I'll try and help you a little bit. It's not Dan Bewley, as he was injured for the latter stages of this season. Question number 8. With which British club were Jason Doyle, Nick Morris, Josh Grushonek and Charles Wright all league winners with in 2013? So with which British club were Jason Doyle, Nick Morris, Josh Grushonek and Charles Wright all league winners with in 2013? Question number 9. Which former British champion was a league winner with Glasgow in 2011? So which former British champion was a league winner with Glasgow in 2011? Final question of round 2 then, and you may need a bit of extra thinking time for this one. So, how many top flight league titles have Poole won in the past decade? So, how many top flight league titles have Poole won in the past decade? Well, hopefully you've had plenty of time to work that one out there, or had a guess, or maybe even just make a note of it, and you can always jot it down quickly during the interval. We're moving straight on to our second themed round, and as ever, this is the final round of tonight's quiz. Tonight it's all about those number ones, whether that be the top riders in a specific team, or maybe even some of the best performing riders from a league. Let's see where we're starting off this final round with then, with question number 1. Who did Ipswich sign as their number 1 upon moving into the Premiership in 2019? So who did Ipswich sign as their number 1 upon moving into the Premiership in 2019? Sticking with last season for question number 2, Charles Wright ended the 2019 Premiership season as Peterborough's number 1, but who started the campaign in that position for the Panthers? So Charles Wright ended the 2019 Premiership season as Peterborough's number 1, but who started the campaign in that position for the Panthers? Let's take it back a couple more years now for question number 3. Who finished Rye House's final season in the second tier as number 1 and remained in that position for the start of their first year in the Premiership? So who finished Rye House's final season in the second tier as number 1 and remained in that position for the start of their first year in the Premiership? Question 4. Which rider started as Bellevue's number 1 for each season between 2013 and 2016? Which rider started as Bellevue's number 1 for each season between 2013 and 2016? Well, I bet you thought you'd escaped it this week. Not quite. We've decided to rewind a decade for this next one. And you're right, it's time to put some riders in a specific order. And we've got the top 4 point scorers from the 2010 Elite League. but from the highest to lowest, can you put the following 4 riders in order based on how many points they scored during that season? So from highest to lowest, can you put the following 4 riders in order based on how many points they scored during the 2010 Elite League? And your options. Option A is Freddie Lindgren, who rode for Wolverhampton, who finished 2nd in the regular standings. Option B, Kenneth Bier, who rode for Peterborough, who finished 3rd. Option C is Lee Adams, who rode for Swindon, who finished 6th. And option D is Scott Nichols, who finished bottom with Ipswich. On to question number 6, and let's see if you can remember which rider started the 2013 season at reserve for Birmingham but raced in the Elite League Grand Final at number 1. So which rider started the 2013 season at reserve for Birmingham but raced in the Elite League Grand Final at number 1? Question number 7. With which club did Ricky Ashworth begin the 2012 and 2013 campaigns in the number 1 race jacket? So with which club did Ricky Ashworth begin the 2012 and 2013 campaigns in the number 1 race jacket? Multiple choice for question number 8. Which former Elite League draft reserve has started National League campaigns at number 1 with the Isle of Wight, Cradley, Bellevue Colts and Stoke? So which former Elite League draft reserve has started National League campaigns at number 1 with the Isle of Wight, Cradley, Bellevue Colts and Stoke? Is it A, Max Clegg, B, Tom Perry or C, Lee Smart? Question number 9. Which former Great Britain international ended both the 2011 and 2012 season as Plymouth's number 1? So which former Great Britain international ended both the 2011 and 2012 season as Plymouth's number 1? And for our final question of this round, and of course tonight's quiz, and it's back to putting riders in a certain order, but this time we're only looking back as far as last season. So from highest to lowest, can you put the following 4 riders in order based on how many points they scored during official regular championship fixtures in 2019? So from highest to lowest, can you put the following 4 riders in order based on how many points they scored during official regular championship fixtures in 2019? Your 4 options are A, Craig Cook, who rode for Glasgow, who finished 2nd. Option B, Charles Wright, who rode for Redcar, who finished 3rd. C is Danny King, who rode for Sheffield, who finished 6th. And option D is Steve Worrell, who rode for Newcastle, who finished 10th. And just like that, another 40 questions have been and gone, and another British Speedway quiz night is almost complete. We're going to give you a few minutes now just to fill in any gaps that you may have. Maybe if you made some notes of some of the questions you were stuck on along the way. So we're going to give you a few minutes to fill in those gaps, as I say. Just take a breather. In the meantime, you can sit back and relax as we dig into the British Speedway video vault to bring you some more heats. And we'll be back in about 5 minutes or so with tonight's 40 questions and answers.
So can the deadlock be broken here in heat number 10? Tigers looking to Danny King to make a fast start. The takes fly away they go, and he has made a fast start. It's tight going down into the first corner, and crucially Josh McDonald's made a good one as well. And it's Josh McDonald that shows. King locks up slightly and slotting through into second. It's Jordan Stewart. King looking to respond. Jordan Stewart trying to find a way through on the inside of his fellow Australian, and he has found it, and Jordan Stewart is that takes it up. Michael Partov trying to get involved as well. Close competitive action here in this 10th race. Stewart from King, and now Partov looking for a way through on the inside of Josh McDonald. Josh McDonald seemingly going backwards in this 10th race, and Partov has found a way through on his inside, and Redcar once again in a heat advantage situation. Jordan Stewart heading Danny King in this 10th race. What can the Tigers number 1 do over the remaining lap or so? Partov giving close attention as well. Close competitive action as something flies off Jordan Stewart's machine, and Danny King now under severe pressure from Michael Partov, who's found a way through on his inside, and Redcar go 1 and 2. Danny King struggling for pace. Jordan Stewart and Michael Partov are combining for a 5-1 maximum, their first of the afternoon, and Redcar retake the lead, this time by 4 points after 10 races. Jordan Stewart and Michael Partov, fabulous stuff from them there. Some brilliant action after the Sheffield window sent to Tigers a gated 1 and 2. But Jordan Stewart firstly found a way through on the inside of Josh McDonald, and then Michael Partov found a way through on the inside of Danny King. And Redcar are absolutely delighted with that, with their first 5-1 of the afternoon.
Takes fire where they go. Fast start from Greg Zengotta on the inside. Jacob Thorshell's got to come from wide to take it up, but it's Zengotta that leads. It's Thorshell in second with Blackbird in third now. Thorshell having a look down on the inside of the pole with Charles Wright missing out once again. Here comes Thorshell through on the inside, but Zengotta quickly back round the outside. It's these two out front, and Zengotta makes a mistake, and that's Thorshell's opportunity. Thorshell comes through to the front. It's Zengotta going wide on the top corner. Blackbird's not close enough to challenge, but one mistake there from Greg Zengotta, and Thorshell said thank you very much. The Wolves fighting back once again in heat number 9, although pressure on at the back between Blackbird and Wright. Wright has certainly not given up the battle for third place. 1 lap to go. Still Thorshell from Zengotta. Zengotta trying to come back through on the inside of him, and he looks to have done it. What a pass from Greg Zengotta. What can Thorshell do off the final corner? He comes through to take the victory there, and a battle at the back between Blackbird and Wright as well. Well, thrilling action as now Thorshell and Zengotta trade places. And it was the young Swede that came through to take the checker flag and victory. Takes fly away they go. Good start from Jason Doyle on the outside, though Janowski's got there as well. A reverse of heat number 11. This time Janowski makes it count from the inside, just gets into that top corner ahead of Jason Doyle, though Doyle is fired up here. You can see he wants revenge on Janowski, dive bombing his way down on the inside. Here comes Doyle, super pass from Doyle. Now what can Janowski do? Trying to respond straight away. These two battle royal out front. Wozniak in third. Doyle just has the advantage over Maciej Janowski. 2 laps gone. Thrilling race in heat number 13. Janowski now searching his way down the inside of Jason Doyle, almost in the side of it. These two going all at it. Doyle checks back to see where Janowski is. Janowski won't give up until the checker flag. Brilliant racing here in heat number 13 between Doyle and Janowski. Doyle just with a 5-metre advantage. Janowski now having another look down on his inside. One mistake from Doyle and Janowski will be through. Thrilling action in heat number 13. Best race of the night between these two Grand Prix stars. Doyle has just got his measure this time and defeats Maciej Janowski. Brilliant stuff. And Wozniak holds on to third ahead of Chris Holder. The Lions take a 4-2 heat advantage, but that was a fantastic race between Doyle and Janowski. Janowski just got to the first corner in front, but Jason Doyle read it this time, searched his way down the inside of him.
Right then, it's time to see how many points you racked up in British Speedway Quiz Night number 5. So get those marking pens at the ready, and here we go with tonight's answers. So round number 1 then, as ever, our pick and mix opening bumper round, and question number 1, what type of tigers are Mildenhall according to their nickname? Of course, the answer we were looking for was fen tigers. Well, you know by now we try and ease you in, so I fully expect all of you out there to be up and running and off the mark after question 1 with the correct answer of fen tigers. Question 2, and we're stuck with nicknames for that one, so what is the new nickname of Kent's National League side? The correct answer is Royals. Well, the Central Park Club have decided to elevate their Kings into the Championship whilst introducing the Royals name for their third tier side. Question number 3. For which season did the top 2 leagues rebrand their names to Premiership and Championship? Correct answer, 2017. Well, yes, it was ahead of the 2017 campaign in which the changes were made as part of a major revamp during the annual AGM. Question number 4, and our first multiple choice question of the evening. 50-50 chance of you getting this one right. Which duo launched a new lockdown podcast last week for Speedway supporters around the world? Was it A, Kelvin Tatum and Nigel Pearson, or B, Natalie Quirk and Scott Nichols? Correct answer, option A, Kelvin Tatum and Nigel Pearson. Well, it had to be that pair, I guess, and the podcast gives supporters opinion on the latest in the Speedway world and also provides listeners with anecdotes from years gone by. Well worth a listen, so do look out for it on their social media channels. Question number 5, multiple choice once again. Who did Eastbourne supporters vote as their all-time ultimate eagle earlier this week? Options were A, Dean Barker, B, Gordon Kennett, C, David Norris, or D, Nicky Pedersen? Correct answer, option C, David Norris. Well, all 4 of the names we gave you were hugely popular during their time at Arlington, and being the club's all-time record point scorer and appearance holder, I guess it's no surprise that the locals voted their local lad, David Norris, as their ultimate eagle. Question number 6. Kings Lynn named Michael Hartell in their side for 2020, but who were the first British club to hand him a team spot? Ipswich, the answer for question number 6. The German racer was signed by the Witches in 2018, and after a year away from British Speedway, signed for their Stars rivals over the winter. Question number 7. Which rider, who started his British Speedway career with Eastbourne, won a 4th successive New Zealand Championship title over the winter break? Correct answer for this one, Bradley Wilson-Dean. Well, it was just the pre-season boost Wilson-Dean was after, following re-signing for former sides Peterborough and Somerset, only to receive medical advice to take 6 months off the bike following more shoulder surgery. Back to multiple choice for question number 8, and we asked you, Newcastle winter signing Nick Scorsia was born in which country? Was it A, Czech Republic, B, Finland, C, Slovakia, or D, Slovenia? Correct answer was option D, Slovenia. Well, some of you may have been able to recall Scorsia's appearances in previous Slovenian Grand Prix, or from his representation of his country in the Speedway of Nations. Multiple choice again for question number 9, and Jakob Torschel sealed a return to Wolverhampton over the winter, but in which year did he first join the club? Was it A, 2011, B, 2012, C, 2013, or D, 2014? Correct answer, option B, 2012. Well, Torschel is the latest Swede to follow in similar footsteps to the likes of Freddie Lindgren, Peter Karlsson, Michael Max, as he has established himself as a firm fans' favourite at Monmouth Green and a real Wolverhampton stalwart. Question 10. Which former Scunthorpe rider rejoined the club in February after 4 years away from the Eddie Wright Raceway? Correct answer, Theo Piper. Well, the Dutchman first rode for the Scorpions in 2015 and answered the call to complete their lineup for 2020 a month before the new season was initially set to get going. Question number 11. Danny Gatmeyer contributed the highest number of Berwick race wins in last year's championship with 38, but how many came away from Shielfield Park? Was it A5, B9, C13 or D17? Quite remarkably, out of those 38 championship race wins, only 5 came away from Shielfield Park. Well, I think it's fair to say that Gatmeyer is something of a track specialist at Shielfield Park, where he is certainly full value for money. He's definitely something of an enigma though, as his 33-5 ratio shows. Question number 12. Who was crowned British Under-19 champion in 2018? Correct answer, Dan Bewley. Well, Bewley went through the card at Ipswich's Vauxhall Stadium to win his second major individual honour in the sport. On to question number 13, and we wanted to know who were the first ever winners of a top flight league fixture at the National Speedway Stadium in Manchester. Was it A, Bellevue, B, Coventry, C, Swindon, or D, Wolverhampton? Correct answer, option C, Swindon. Well, to some people this could be classed as general knowledge that you stored in your memory bank in case there was ever an opportunity to put your speedway knowledge to the test. Others of you may have spotted this fact on Swindon's social media earlier in the week, but yes, it was the Robins who were the first ever winners of a top flight league fixture at the NSS as they beat hosts Bellevue 50-40 on May the 11th, 2016. Question number 14. At which club stadium did Lakeside complete their 2018 fixtures following the closure of the Arena Essex Raceway? Correct answer, Rye House. Well, yes, it was certainly something of a predicament at the time, but with Lakeside having such a strong team that year, it was the Hoddesdon venue that came to their rescue, and the Hammers were able to complete their outstanding fixtures. Question 15. After 18 years at Buxton, which former racer was then given the opportunity as team manager in the higher leagues with both Birmingham and Sheffield? Correct answer, Jack Lee. Well, Lee enjoyed plenty of happy times with the Buxton Hitmen before facing a much tougher test in the higher two leagues, and Lee can still be found around many of the northern tracks in some capacity nowadays too. Another 50-50 opportunity for you for question 16. Josh Pickering has spent his entire British Speedway career so far with Edinburgh, but in which year did he first join the club? Was it A, 2016 or B, 2017? Correct answer, option B, 2017. So like I say, we gave you another 50-50 chance of getting that one right, so hopefully you plumped for the right option. Pickering has gradually developed into a solid, reliable heat leader for the Monarchs, and he was named in their side for a fourth successive year in 2020. Question 17. How many British clubs did Ty Proctor officially ride for in 2019? Correct answer is 4. Well, it was something of a strange old season for Proctor, who at Premiership level was released by Kings Lynn, only to be snapped up by Peterborough not long after, and at Championship level he was let go by Sheffield, only for Leicester to jump in and secure his services, where he went on to become a league winner with the Lions. Question number 18. Can you name the rider pictured in his younger days who is best known for his spells with Ipswich and Scunthorpe in British Speedway? Correct answer, Gino Manzarez. Well, Manzarez is certainly one of those racers with plenty of unfilled potential, as his World Cup appearances with America back up, and while he has been spending a lot of time doing UFC type fighting, he's keen to return to British Speedway at some point in the future. Question 19. Which country was Stefan Nielsen born in? Correct answer was Denmark. Well, last week we mentioned Nielsen's back-to-back British Under-19 successes, so hopefully that didn't throw too many of you for the penultimate question of our opening round tonight, and Denmark was the country which Stefan Nielsen was born in. Question 20, and we gave you a little teaser of tonight's third round for this one, and we asked you which club did Adam Ellis sign for as their number 8 in 2012 before working his way up into the number 1 position the following season. Correct answer, the Isle of Wight. Well, it was certainly a strong first impression from the French-born Brit, who also doubled up with Ipswich in 2013. Straight on to round number 2 then. And this was our first themed round of the week. We Are the Champions, it was called. And question number 1. Which rider, whose face has been blurred in this victory team shot, assured Leicester of the 2019 Championship title by winning Heat 14 of the second leg at Glasgow? Correct answer is Ellis Perks. Well, Perks played a pivotal role for the Lions aside from that all-important race victory, and also made history on an individual basis by being a member of all 3 league-winning sides last year. Question 2. In which year did Wolverhampton bring Ty Woffington back to the club in August before later going on to win the top flight title? Correct answer, 2016, and it turned out to be a second Elite League gold medal for Woofington after returning to the Wolves as a late season replacement for Eunice Kilmacorpy. Question number 3, which club were back-to-back second tier champions in 2014-2015? Correct answer, Edinburgh. Well, the Monarchs got their revenge on Somerset in 2014 before claiming the bragging rights against Scottish rivals Glasgow the following season in what really were a couple of memorable seasons at Armadale. Question number 4, who guested for Sheffield at number 1 in the second leg of their 2017 Grand Final triumph over Ipswich? Correct answer, Scott Nicholls. Well, again, we've told you to pay extra attention to our Monday night Speedway broadcasts, and for those of you who did tune in this week, then I'm sure you got this one correct. Nicholls guested against his former club in place of injured Tiger star Josh Grushonek, and after a difficult start actually proved to be the title-winning rider after taking the checkered flag in Heat 13 at Vauxhall. Question number 5, multiple choice. When Swindon won the Elite League in 2012, it was their first league title in how many years? A, 15, B, 30, C, 45 or D, 60? Correct answer was C, 45 years. Well, yes, it had certainly been a long and painful wait for the Robins, but a 95-89 aggregate victory over Poole saw them claim their first league title since the days of Mike Broadbank, Bob Kilby, Barry Briggs, Martin Ashby and co. in 1967. It was back-to-back multiple choice for you for question number 6. Which of the following clubs won the National League at the first time of asking after entering the third tier? Was it A, Birmingham, B, Eastbourne or C, Lakeside? And it was option A, Birmingham. Well, following closure partway through 2014, the Brummies were risen from the ashes as Tony Mole and Graham Drury returned to the club, and not only did they win the National League in 2015, they secured the title back-to-back the following season as well. Question 7. This picture was taken on the night Workington sealed a historic treble in 2018, but which rider's face had been blurred? Nikolai Clint. Well, hopefully a good number of you were able to recall the Comet side from 2 years ago. If not, then maybe Clint's unique bright pink race suit stuck in a few of your minds. Question number 8. With which British club were Jason Doyle, Nick Morris, Josh Grushonek and Charles Wright all league winners with in 2013? Correct answer is Somerset. Well, again, hopefully that one didn't catch you out, as they have all had connections with Swindon during their British Speedway careers, and it shouldn't have either, as only Doyle and Morris have been league winners with the Robins, but it was actually the Somerset Rebels the four lifted the trophy with 7 years ago. Question number 9. Which former British champion was a league winner with Glasgow in 2011? Joe Screen. Well, Screen enjoyed a solid season for the Scottish Tigers, scoring 380 points in 38 meetings in what was a hugely successful season for the Ashfield outfit. Final question of round number 2. Question number 10. How many Top Flight League titles have Poole won in the last decade? Correct answer, 5. Well, the Pirates have certainly been one of the dominant forces in British Speedway and have claimed 5 titles in the past 10 years in 2011, then a hat-trick run between 2013 and 2015, and their last came just 2 years ago in 2018. Straight on to round number 3, our final round, of course, and it was our last themed round, which tonight was called Number Ones, looking at number 1 riders in certain teams and throughout the leagues as well. And question number 1, who did Ipswich sign as their number 1 upon moving into the Premiership in 2019? Chris Harris was the answer for that one. Well, hopefully the majority of you remembered that Niels Christian Everson was a late signing by the Witches, but they initially went with a more strength-in-depth approach with Harris top of the averages. We're stuck with last season for question 2. Charles Wright ended the 2019 Premiership season as Peterborough's number 1, but who started the campaign in that position for the Panthers? Correct answer, Rowan Tungate. Well, it was a close one at the start of the season following the winter signings. Some of you may have had a stab at Hans Andersen, but it was Tungate who had a starting average which was 0.05 higher than the Dane. Question 3. Who finished Rye House's final season in the second tier as number 1 and remained in that position for the start of their first year in the Premiership? The answer, Edward Kennett. Well, the former British under-21 champion had several spells at Hoddesdon throughout his career and stayed with the Rockets as they elevated into the top league in 2017. Question number 4. Which rider started as Bellevue's number 1 for each season between 2013 and 2016? Correct answer, Mati Zagar. Well, the multi-Slovenian national champion proved to be a popular member of the Aces side during the 4 seasons he spent with the club and produced a number of match-winning rides along the way. Question number 5, and this was the first of putting 4 riders in a several order. And for this one, we wanted to know from highest to lowest, could you put the following 4 riders in order based on how many points they scored during the 2010 Elite League? And the riders we gave you were A. Freddie Lindgren, B. Kenneth Bierre, C. Lee Adams and D. Scott Nicholls. The correct order we were looking for was C, A, D, B. So C, A, D, B, Lee Adams, Freddie Lindgren, Scott Nicholls and Kenneth Bierre. Well, Swindon may have finished outside the playoffs in 2010, but Australian star Lee Adams finished the league's top point scorer with 377. Wolves' Freddie Lindgren was the second highest with just 7 less and 370. Ipswich may have finished bottom of the pile, but Scott Nicholls racked up 344 individual points, while Kenneth Bierre enjoyed a fine season, notching 341 for Peterborough. Question number 6. Which rider started the 2013 season at reserve for Birmingham, but raced in the Elite League Grand Final at number 1? Correct answer was Martin Schmelinski. Well, the German star certainly brought plenty of entertainment to the Perry Bar faithful and added 2.5 points onto his starting average to rise up the Brummies' tightly packed rankings in the process. Question number 7. With which club did Ricky Ashworth begin the 2012 and 2013 campaigns in the number 1 race jacket? The correct answer is Berwick. Well, Ashworth is most commonly associated with Sheffield, but switched to the Bandits following his 10th season with the Tigers. So Berwick, the answer for question number 7. Multiple choice for question number 8. Which former Elite League draft reserve has started National League campaigns at number 1 with the Isle of Wight, Cradley, Bellevue Colts and Stoke? Options we gave you were A. Max Clegg, B. Tom Perry and C. Lee Smart. The correct answer, option B, Tom Perry. Well, Clegg has led 2 of those sides, whilst Lee Smart had spells with all of those clubs bar Bellevue. So Tom Perry was the answer we were looking for that one. Question 9. Which former Great Britain international ended both the 2011 and 2012 season as Plymouth's number 1? Ben Barker. Well, Barker was something of a fan's favourite during his time with the then Devils and also had a spell with the club a couple of years later in 2014 as well. Final question of British Speedway Quiz Night number 5, and again we're asking you to put riders in an order, and for this one, from highest to lowest, could you put the following 4 riders in order based on how many points they scored during official regular championship fixtures in 2019? The options were A. Craig Cook, B. Charles Wright, C. Danny King and D. Steve Worrell. The correct order we were looking for was A, C, B, D. So A, C, B, D, that's Craig Cook, Danny King, Charles Wright and Steve Worrell. So yes, you only actually needed to switch 2 riders round on this occasion. Craig Cook, as you would expect I suppose, was the runaway top point scorer in the second tier with 327 points for runners-up Glasgow. Danny King totaled 279 points for Sheffield, who missed out on the playoffs. British champion Charles Wright was 10 points behind him with 269 for Redcar, and a further 10 points behind him with 259 was Steve Worrell for Newcastle. So how did you get on in British Speedway Quiz Night number 5? Regular players will know that we award 1 point per question, but some of you in your individual households may have decided, for example, in the questions where you have to put riders in a certain order, to give a point per position you got right. But our scheme is 1 point per question. 40 questions means we had 40 points up for grabs. Do post your scores and let us know how you got on in the comment section underneath this video. We've had a lot of feedback over the last month or so. Some of you saying these quizzes are way too easy. Others of you saying they're too hard. So we're just trying to cater for as many people as we possibly can. And let's be honest, it's all for a bit of fun, like we say. And as long as you enjoy the hour or so that it takes to do these quiz nights, then that is what matters most. And as long as you do keep enjoying them, then we will be bringing them your way on a Friday from 8:30. Don't forget, this coming Monday, you can join me from 7:30 for our latest Monday Night Speedway broadcast, a Premiership fixture from 2017 as the Rye House Rockets take on the Wolverhampton Wolves. So 7:30 on our Facebook and YouTube channels for that one. You can join me as well next Friday, British Speedway Quiz Night number 6. Like I say, Facebook and YouTube once again, 8:30 for our British Speedway Quiz Night. And don't forget to keep up to date with all those features we've got going on and on our social media channels. On Twitter, we are at SpeedwayGB. Search SpeedwayGB on Facebook. On Instagram, we're at Official British Speedway. And Speedway Great Britain, search that on YouTube. And please do subscribe. In the meantime, do be sensible, use your common sense, and most importantly, stay safe and well. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.